Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
We'll sit here for a
You
minute.
get to hit it twice.
System down.
Our system is down right now, so
So
we
you
have
do it with hands.
Got to reboot.
System is down.
I'm out bragging about AAA bond rating and all kind of money, and our system ain't even working.
City messed it up.
In a few minutes.
Y'all gonna break me out alive.
What,
Sing a song, Ken.
what do we have going on to the,
Classic.
Yeah.
camera? Camera doing here? Why are they here? TV camera.
They want to
That's
talk
a
to you.
special going on today?
I've got a copy
I
of it.
looked at it, it looks pretty.
You know, I've been on the news every day.
You have? Oh, yeah, because you put that. Hey.
Anybody at the hospital?
What did you? You didn't see what
We had a preacher come out talking about, he's back on.
Yeah, but she's not.
They didn't own the bill.
All right, you ready?
They can put the sign.
Where you been?
Totally legal. I'm sorry you didn't go through that, but I'm glad somebody else is doing it now.
Mic check, mic
Spread,
check.
spread it around.
Okay.
You ready? Calling the order to Caddo Parish Commission regular session for October 22nd. Roll call, please.
Dominic,
Here.
Johnson,
Present.
Williams, Lynn, Bowman,
Present.
Cawthorn, Gage
Present.
Watts, Escaday,
Here.
Thibodeau,
Here.
Cox,
Go.
Smith, Epperson.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, asking Reverend Robert Green to come and do the invocation, and Commissioner Everson, will you lead us in the pledge? Please stand.
Let us pray. Most eternal Father God, we come, Lord, just thanking you, Lord, for another day. We thank you for just being God in our life, knowing that you are totally in control. Now, Lord, we ask for your blessing upon this meeting, that you will lead and guide us in the direction that will be pleasing in your sight, that all that we do may bring glory to your name. We thank you, Lord. Now in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Let's all face the flag. All military and veterans render the hand to brow salute. All others hand over your heart. And let's repeat the pledge in unison. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any agenda additions?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to expand the agenda to serve a proclamation relative to Veteran Celebration Week.
A second.
Been moved by Commissioner Everson and seconded by Commissioner Williams to add to the agenda. Let's vote on that first. All right, that passes 10-0, so that can be added to the agenda. Now we need to vote to put it as a part of new business.
Special resolution.
Special resolution. Okay, let's vote on that. That also passes 10-0. So that will be added to the agenda for today. All right, next item. Citizen comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning, please fill out a comment card located in the chamber foyer and return to myself or the clerk of the commission. Individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes. First person up would be Jerry Stevens. Please give us your name and address once you come to the podium. Just give it to clerk. That passes.
Mr. Thibodeau, he can box, Mr. Thibodeau. He can box. Be careful.
You know. All right.
Hi, my name is Jerry Stevens. My address is 852 Pullman Road, Sweetport, Louisiana. with Stevenson Youth Activity Zone. We are located in Billsbury Park under the direction of the SPAR. And I come to you to ask for your support and funding for the Stevenson Youth Activity Zone. It's a boxing program that we have started maybe about 15 years ago. We've been here, existing here in the Sweetport area, and we need y'all help to continue this program. It's a good program. We are targeting at youth, giving kids recreation outlets to promote positive behavior and attitude in schools and the neighborhood and community. Through the years, we have brought up maybe six national champions out of here in Sweetport. Also, we have brought in lots of different people to witness this program over the years. Quite a few of y'all might know me and may not know me, but like I said, my name is Jerry Stevens, and this program been existing for about 15 years. And we're looking for funding. We have a program, Stevenson Youth after school program also that we deal with youth. Kind of going over myself, but we developing positive behavior, attitude, and a high level of self-esteem in most of the kids that enter this program. So we're asking for help. We got a tournament December the 12th, My Time to Shine, and that's for the youth of this community. We got participants coming from all over the country, so we just don't deal with our local kids. We're dealing with kids throughout the country. I'm an ex-fighter. I fought amateur for about 20 years and actually fought professional. Did real well. We came out of the SPAR program here in Sweetport. Actually, we're four Stevenson brothers. We one of those end up a world champion, Anthony Stevens. Donald Stevens ranked #1 in the country. Robert Larity was a light heavyweight. He actually working, so it's like a non-profit organization that's actually giving back to the program, to the youth of our community, and that's what we're doing, is giving back, and we need y'all help and support to continue doing what we do. We help many kids in this area, and at the same time we are filling up lots of hotels. Over the years we have sold over 500 or 600 hotels, bringing other fighters in from other places, other kids, and they get a chance to actually relate with all the other kids and talk, and pretty much get an idea of more going on than just going on here. So I guess come for y'all to ask y'all for your help.
Okay.
You ever been knocked out?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so
Mr. Stevens. We
if
can't
y'all
ask you
will.
any questions right now.
All right, Mr. Stevens.
All right. Thank y'all.
Next person is Rob Broussard.
Good afternoon, Commission, Mr. Johnson, Chairman, Mr. Wilson. I just want to give a very quick report on part of the things that y'all have helped fund. We had our event in the park last Friday, and there was over 2,500 people in attendance. Some of our commissioners attended, and we were so thankful to see them there. We had 36 businesses that engaged in interactions, so our efforts at economic development are moving forward. By the end of the reporting period, we look forward to giving you all a report to show you that your money was well spent in that economic endeavor. So I want to thank y'all again. And one other thing, today and tomorrow, the newspaper will be printing the park scores which are scores which identify what's going on in our schools with the state testing. While that test is being challenged on many different levels, it's still a standard by which all of our schools are being judged. And we don't create that standard, but our schools are definitely labeled by them. Please take the time to look at those scores and look at the scores at the different schools, and you will see that the need for all of us, whether it's the school system or the parish commission, to step up, and as that village, that we step up and recognize that these kids are going to be here forever in many instances, and that is the future. That is the people that we need to address in every possible way we can, whether it's boxing or whatever endeavor. And so if you will, please look at those scores, and I think you'll start seeing the stuff that I passed out to you. You'll see that need to help these kids in these tutoring programs. Thank you so much for the donations y'all have made, and we appreciate y'all's hard work. Good luck. Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. Next person is Helen Edger.
Ms. Helen?
Adger.
Just give us your name and address.
My name is Helen Adger. I'm from Gillum, Louisiana, and I live on Adger Road.
You can let that go, it'll be all right. You can let that go, it'll be all right.
Oh, I can? Oh, good. I've addressed you before, but sometimes, you know, I don't do very well public speaking. I sort of stumble around. I've come to speak in support of Mr. Doug Dominic's submitted a name for the hospital board where there is a vacancy, and the seat needs to be filled, and I think he submitted a name already, and I'm in support of that. I've been the mayor in in Gillum for 24 years, and that's because there's no pay. It's not a paying job. You only, that's what you do the dirty work. And I've been a board member for 18 years and have enjoyed every minute of it. It's an absolutely wonderful board. There is never a dissension that isn't solved before we leave there. No one ever leaves without having to be able to speak their piece, and we all work together and always have, and I hope that that will continue. But I have come here to say that the person that I'm for on the board seat is for Vivian. And it's always been a tradition that this was a Vivian seat. The man who was on this seat before died, had been on the board way before I was on the board. And unfortunately, our bylaws are not specific enough as to how we do this. So there's been some confusion. And one of my proposals was that we table this decision until we could go over the bylaws again and maybe make what adjustments had to be made. They've been adjusted about 3 or 4 times already, but that was not satisfactory. So I'm here to support Mr. Dominic in his choice and in who he has submitted to you. I talked to Mrs. Smith, and we're good friends. We both are named Helen. I'm calling myself the other Helen. So we're very good friends. And she will be an excellent addition to the board. But I would like to see the hospital finished. I've been on the board since before we started. We have a wonderful administrator who got this going where we didn't think he could. We're almost finished. It may be another year before the hospital is open. I would really like to stay on the board to see the hospital open, and then at that point, stay 2 to 3 months to see how it's progressing, and then I plan to resign. I've just been put on the board for a 6-year term. I'm 90 years old. I will not last that long. If I last that long, I won't be very bright. So I plan to do this, and that will give a Gillum opening for the board. And Mrs. Smith lives in Gillum. She is a good friend of mine. I've talked to her, and we have gotten along beautifully. It's just, this is not a rule. It's just been a tradition that this is a Vivian seat, because it's been occupied always by someone. And
Ms. Angie,
Vivian
your
now,
Time is up.
hmm?
Time is up. Unless,
Anyway, that's what I came to speak to, and I hope without stumbling, I've made myself pretty clear. I'm going to do what is best for the hospital. And if you decide not to put a Vivian candidate back in that seat, then I have promised that I will resign now and give an opening for the Vivian candidate to be put in that seat. So I appreciate your attention, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
we can't ask any questions right now. Thank you, though.
Yes.
Next person is Ms. Brenda Smith.
Hello, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Dominic, Mr. Wilson, Board. Thank you for having me here. My name is Brenda Smith. I live at 10186 Ferry Lake Road, Oil City, Louisiana. And I'm here today speaking on behalf of the North Caddo Medical Center Board of Trustees. And I'm not here to speak to what's on your guys' agenda, I do believe, to find out today, because the board has already spoken, and I think there's a lot of people that's in attendance today to support what the board has spoken to. But I would like to seek some clarification from this board. As you've heard just a few seconds ago, we had one of our one of our board members who is willing to resign to try to fix an issue that's come up, and I really don't think it's her issue to try to fix, but we would like some clarification. Just a little bit. I came on the board in 2001. At that time, it was a 6-member board, and at that time, they added 3 other members that brought us to a 9-member board. There were 5 from Vivian, myself from Oil City, 1 from Mooringsport, 1 from Gillow, and 1 from around the Myra area. Since then, we've had people that I hate to say, but have passed on, are people who just elected not to be renominated back to the board again. As of right now, we have 3 from the Vivian area, 1 from Oil City, 1 from Gillen, 1 from Mooringsport, and 1 from Austin. One of the things that we would like to have some clarity on is this. Is there a certain number of seats on that board that are dedicated to members of Vivian? If it is, that's fine. We just need to know that so that when this issue comes up again, because undoubtedly a position on our board now is getting to be very sought after since we're having a new hospital built, and maybe there's a little more prestige. We used to have to beat the bushes to try to find someone that would come serve for us. But anyway, we just need to know that as a board so we can go forth. And the other thing we need to know is how is this process going to happen the next time there's a board position that comes open? Typically what we've done is we've tried to reach out to various other areas in our hospital district, and we have tried to get representations and sort of diversify our board. We reach out to mayors of those towns and ask for upstanding citizens that would be willing to serve, and we've come together to bring those. The board then votes for a nominee that we send to you, and then you guys are actually the one that appoints them to the board. We just need to know, because this time has been different, and we can't figure out why this time is different from any other time, but it has been. So we would like some clarification on those 2 points, please. I realize not today, but when you can. Number 1, is there a certain number of seats that should be dedicated to the citizens of Vivian? And number 2, what is the process that we go through again when we have another position come open? We welcome the higher level of scrutiny with arms open. We meet on the 4th Tuesday of every month. Any one of you are welcome to come to our board meetings. Our minutes are published. You know, we have our board attorney now who sits in on every one of our board members' meetings. So we love the higher level of scrutiny. We love that people in our area are now wanting to come and serve on our board, but we're just needing some direction from the board and clarification of where we go to next time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Smith. Next person is Ms. Helen Godfrey-Smith. Please give us your name and address.
Helen Godfrey Smith, 12899 Gillum Scott Slough Road, Gillum, Louisiana, North Caddo Parish. Thank you all for allowing me another opportunity to speak to this body, Dr. Wilson, and to my commissioner, Mr. Douglas Dominic, and to all of you who volunteer who are elected to serve, and you do such a beautiful job. Thank you all for this chance. I spoke on Monday. I will not reiterate most of what I said on Monday, but I'd just like to remind you that volunteering in the community is a privilege, and it is one that I take very seriously. I think that it is part of what I pay for the earth that I get to stand on every day. I have to give back because this community has given so much to me. There are a couple of points that I'd like to remind you of, and that is that the working to secure this hospital is not new to me. This is something that I started when our foundation was founded approximately 7 years ago, and I've worked very diligently, given everything that I could, time, attention, and resources, to be sure that the hospital would get to the point that it is a reality. Very few people are willing to give when there is nothing that you can see. But a lot of people will rush when it looks like there's going to be a lot to get credit for. And that's, and I'm not saying that that's the purpose for this battle today, but I know that when I started working on the foundation, there was nobody contesting the work, nor anybody trying to shove me off the field of work. The second thing I'd like for you to be aware of today is that I am a businesswoman, and this hospital being built is the first phase, but it is a very brief phase. But the hospital being sustained over the years is going to be a challenge, and it's going to be one that's going to have to be dealt with from a business standpoint. And what I'd like to bring to this board is my business expertise that has been well proven throughout this community, throughout this country. I have contacts that I can utilize to help to raise money. I have a picture here where last week I sat with the USDA Rural Development, the President's Economic Development Advisor in Washington, working to figure out how to bring more resources to rural communities. Those are the community contacts that I want to bring to bear upon the success of this hospital. We are going to have to raise money. We're going to have to manage money in order for the hospital to be successful. I've proven that I can do all of that, and I will do it to benefit the hospital. And last point, it is not geographical, nor should it be political. This is about health care for our community. We have to get the politics out and just do what's best for the citizens of Caddo Parish. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mill. Next person is Ms. Irma Rogers.
Irma Rogers, 1920 Michoud Street, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71107. President Johnson, Vice President Matthew Lynn, and all the other commissioners, I bring you greetings from the Martin Luther King Community Development Corporation. We pause to say thank you for your support of our many programs. This year, because of your funding, we were able to target many of our underprivileged, our youth, and our senior citizens. Thanks for the support of our spring tutoring efforts at Green Oaks Performing Arts Academy and Northside Elementary. 5 weeks at Green Oaks and 2 weekends at Northside. We offered services to those who were in need. Thanks for the support of our senior citizens' monthly socialization. It's called a monthly socialization because it offers our seniors an opportunity to meet and greet without there being a funeral. They come together. It's generally attended by 45 to 95 seniors within the MLK area, but others are also invited. Sometimes those from other locations will show up at this greeting. We offer them a hot meal. They play bingo. They have a speaker. We've had several of our elected officials to come and speak. along with people like the food stamp person who comes and talks to them. They get a talk, and then they meet and greet. Thanks for the support of the many summer camps. This year, the Butterfly Camp for girls, boys camps, the Law and Youth Academy, which is generally attended by many students who attend the SPAR recreational centers that are underprivileged. They get an opportunity to go to the Shreveport Fire Department and the Shreveport Police Department, to the Fire and Police Academy, and they have a whole week's worth of work in criminology. We use this as a crime deterrent, hoping that our youngsters will understand not to commit crimes because there are so many ways for them to be detected. Thanks for our school support, school uniforms and school supplies. This year, this file folder represents our processing of more than 120 students. We provide school uniforms, and this is across the parish. This is not just in MLK, but we provide these uniforms for these students, at least 2 sets, tops and bottoms. We don't give shorts because we know the weather will change, but we provide this, and we've set up a system where we will screen and make sure we get them to the underprivileged students. And also this year, we held a parenting class prior to issuing the uniforms so that we could educate our parents on school protocol. Things like don't go to the schools in your house coats and your headscarves and those things. Don't have your child ostracized or picked out because of that. We also will be beginning our Thanksgiving and Christmas outreach. So we just want to say thank you for so much that you've done to help in our community. It makes our community feel appreciated. And to my commissioner, thanks very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Next person is Pastor George and Pastor Corey. Please give us your name and address.
Sure. Greetings. I'm Corey Williams. Address is 4725 Greenwood Road. And of course, thank you all for this opportunity to speak this afternoon. Of course, we, the Northwest Louisiana Community Development Corporation, where I serve as the new public relations person, we're partnering with Praise Temple, and we do this every year. We're in the process of getting it together as we're feeding those during the Thanksgiving holiday. And of course, Pastor Marcus George is going to come, and he's going to share even more information. But this is an opportunity we want to pitch to all of our commissioners and everyone here to be a part as we are feeding those that are in need during that time. And so I want to just extend an invitation for you all to be a part of this wonderful community event. And it's just not here in Shreveport, but it's going to be in several different areas. So again, I'm going to yield this time the floor to Pastor Marcus George as he's going to share more information, specifics on the We Are Better Together feeding.
Thank you so much, Pastor D, and Mr. President, and all of you all that are here. We're just excited again to be here for this opportunity, 8200 Pines Road. This year, next month, and actually a month from today, Saturday, November the 21st, will be our 3rd annual We Are Better Together feeding. This is going to take place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're excited because in times past, last year, our goal was to feed 2,014 people in one day. As a result of the community coming together, businesses, organizations, churches, fraternities, sororities, so many people getting involved, we were able to feed 5,259 people. Of course, we say in one day, but actually it's 4 hours from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And so we wanted to stand before you all today to let it be known, those that want to get involved. I do want to say publicly, thank God for our commissioners, Stormy Watson, Bowman, who really worked with us to make sure that this was a success as well. Last year, we had 25 locations in Shreveport and 2 locations in Bossier. This year, we're branching out, so we have locations as far as Biloxi, Mississippi, to Dallas, Texas. So there are people that take this serious. They know every year that we are doing this, the Saturday before Thanksgiving. This year, instead of feeding 2015, it has been the vision of our leader, Bishop L. Lawrence Brandon. This year, we're going to take it another level because it's 2015. So our goal this year is to feed 5,000 people in one day from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So those that want to be a part, we would love to have you all get involved. I can be contacted. The area code 318-631-4428. My email address is praisetempleeverywhere@gmail.com. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You guys are taking the charge from Jesus.
Next item.
Well, that's good. You clap.
We have no visitors. Next, we move to special resolutions. Have a resolution, joint resolution, veterans.
Yes, sir.
You move us.
So move. And second. Okay, and I'd like for the clerk, if he would, to read it. We don't have to stand.
Okay. Proclamation, whereas millions of Americans have served in the armed forces of the United States during the past century and have made the ultimate sacrifice. And whereas the Caddo Parish Commission, City of Shreveport, Bossier City, and the Bossier Parish Police Jury have united together to sponsor a parade and award ceremony for our local veterans and their families at the Louisiana State Fairgrounds on Sunday, November 8th at 2 p.m. And whereas all businesses and public entities are asked to post thank you and welcome veteran signs during the week of November 5th through the 11th, recognizing the contributions and sacrifices of the men and women who have served and who are still active in the armed forces. And whereas public and private school systems, primary, secondary, and higher education institutions are asked to schedule educational programs whereby veterans and military personnel may serve as guest speakers. Special recognition to our veterans at all religious institutions during religious services is also encouraged. And whereas all citizens of Caddo Parish, Shreveport, Bossier City, Bossier Parish, and surrounding municipalities are asked to attend the parade in mass numbers at the Louisiana State Fairgrounds Midway, and attend the award ceremony at the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club to honor our veterans for protecting our American freedoms. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission, the City of Shreveport, the City of Bossier City, and the Bossier Parish Police Jury, meeting in legal and regular session convened during the month of November, does hereby proclaim November 5th through 11th, 2015 as Veterans Celebration Week in Caddo Parish, Shreveport, Bossier, and Bossier Parish, Louisiana, and urges all citizens to join with all government entities in the vicinity to celebrate the 4th anniversary of Veterans Celebration Week, honoring our veterans and their families. Attested and signed, Lyndon Johnson, President, Caddo Parish Commission; Ollie Tyler, Mayor, City of Shreveport; Jack Skaggs, President, Bossier Parish Police Jury; Lorenz Walker, City of Bossier City; Kenneth E. Epperson, Veterans Celebration Committee Chairman.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Epperson, seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve and adopt the proclamation that was signed by the President of the Commission, the Mayor of Shreveport, the Mayor of Bossier, and also Commissioner Epperson and the President of the Bossier Police Jury. Let's vote. That passes 11-0. Next item.
Next, we move to adopt regular session minutes from October 8th.
Mr. Chair.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Watts. Anyone that wishes to speak on that, let's vote. That passes 10-0.
Adopt the special minutes from September 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Watts, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Anyone that wishes to speak on that, let's vote. That passes 11-0.
Next, we move to communications and committee reports. Administration response to information requests from commissioners.
Okay, Dr. Wilson, go ahead.
President Johnson, Commissioners, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have a special presentation today we'd like to present to one of our local business partners that help us at the Animal Control Center. And we have with us today Ms. Stacy Browning. Oh, you can join me. Do you have a guest, Mr. Browning? Oh, okay. Ms. Browning works for Petco on Uri Drive, and over the past 5 years, they have helped us adopt a tremendous amount of cats. For example, in 2011, they helped us successfully adopt and find homes for 114 cats, 122 in 2012, in 2013, 109, in 2014, 128, in 2015, 130, for a grand total of 603 cats adopted to a loving and caring home. So we couldn't let that achievement go unrecognized, so at this time, we have a plaque we'd like to present to Petco. Let me read the description on the plaque. It says, "Community Partnership Success. Thank you for your outstanding support, commitment, and dedication in coordinating and adoptions and finding forever homes for over 603 Caddo Parish cats from 2011 to 2015. When community partnerships are formed, results happen. And keep up the outstanding work." So thank you on behalf of the Caddo Parish Commission and Animal Services Department, and citizens of our parish. Thank you for a job well done.
Commissioner Williams. Okay.
Really?
Commissioner Epperson.
That's it on administration report?
Yes.
Okay. Just like to reemphasize our 4th annual Veterans Parade and honor ceremony that will be held at the Louisiana State Fairgrounds Sunday, November the 8th, starting at 2:00 p.m. on the west side of Independence Stadium. We'll be going down the main midway, whereas around 3:30 p.m. we'll have a sit-down honor ceremony for 11 area veterans who will be honored for their military service as well as their community service, starting at 3:30 p.m. There will be free parking and admission of all military and veterans and their families on that day. If you come up and just say you're a veteran or you're military, wear your caps or your t-shirts or whatever, won't be any argument as to free entrance to the fair or free parking. The first 1,000 persons attending will receive an American flag, compliments of Kilpatrick Life Insurance. We have now gained the notoriety of being the largest veteran celebration in the state of Louisiana. Our Grand Marshal for this year will be none other than a 95-year-old young combat Marine veteran, World War II, in the name of Mr. Ray Urban, who celebrated his 95th birthday by jumping from 30,000 feet out of an aircraft. So he'll be our Grand Marshal. So we're asking that you all come out and make this a joyous and a family-oriented day, the last day of the fair. Give an opportunity, we can go to church in the morning, and once church come out, bring all the church members and the whole family out to the fair and the parade and the honor ceremony. Michelle, what's our Facebook page address?
Veterans Celebration 2015.
Okay, anyone that would like to access what's going on, Veterans Celebration 2015, our Facebook page. All information will be found there. And just like to emphasize that this is a collaboration of the City of Shreveport, the Bossier Parish Police Jury, the Caddo Parish Commission, and the City of Bossier. So we just like to say that if it was not for those 4 governmental entities, we think this is a basic foundation why this is such a success in our 4th year. Dr. Wilson, you working on the 3 chickens and the 3 dogs for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think we got that solved.
All right.
3 chickens and 3
dogs. That was kind of funny when I got the call on that. I had to tell you about it, but
Please, please.
ready.
I think say when's lunch?
All right.
He's enlightened me.
Precincts, I think 118 and 163, which are located at Calvary Pentecostal Church, 6811 Woolworth Road. You know, we're working on a bridge on Woolworth Road. So I've spoken with you, and I think Mr. Weaver say that there will be signs designating the detours to those precincts, because I feel quite sure that we'll be getting some incidents if we don't be proactive on that, letting them, giving them correct directions to that voting precinct. That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner Watts.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Weaver.
In the corner.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. At the corner of Pines Road and Buncombe Road, would you get DOTD out there to install a signal light, a left turn signal light? If you're traveling south on Pines Road onto Buncombe Road, sometimes you sit in that traffic 4 to 5 lights before you're even able to move your car. So if you would get them to check that out for me.
Yeah, I can put a request in.
Thank you, sir.
Don't go too far, Tim. Sit down front. Let him go back and then call him up. That's okay. I'm saving no seat. That's it?
That's it. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say that the Animal Services Committee, we met again on October 19th. We're finally finished with everything with the ordinances. Thank you. Of course, we couldn't do it alone without great people like Commissioner Cox and the rest of the commissioners. I don't want to start with the name calling because y'all get territorial.
Lynn,
so,
you got left out.
Yeah, cool. But anyway, so I just want, our next step is to now take it to the city council, and so we can present to them, and hopefully we can all be united on decision and continue to move Caddo Shreveport forward. So I just want to thank everybody for supporting. I know it's been a tedious journey, but it's not over, and we're moving to better. Thank you.
Okay. Next item.
Okay. Next, we'll move to President's Report.
Okay, Tim. Had a complaint about 4115 North Lakeshore Drive. That's a property standards issue with uncut grass. They hadn't cut the grass all year, even though it's dead and burnt by now, but hadn't been cut. And then, do we have an update on North Lakeshore Drive? Split?
On the split, I mean, I talked to Robert about that, and I mean, hopefully when it rains, we'll see what it does.
Okay. And also put in a request on some traffic studies. One was MLK turning.
Yeah, we submitted that to DOTD, and then DOTD submitted that to the city of Shreveport. It must be under their jurisdiction.
Okay, well, the turn from MLK to that is in the city limits.
Right. So
the other one was at North Lakeshore Drive to Huey Huckabee, putting some type of.
yeah, they were both submitted to the state, and then he turned around and submitted them to the city of Shreveport.
Okay, thank you.
I'll follow up on that for you.
Thank you. On the voting precincts, in District 2, we've made a change. Billberry Park was supposed to be closed now, but it's still open. But we already changed the precinct over to Lakeshore Middle School. So we'll have appropriate signs, Kevin? Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure we have signs, because this will be the first time that that precinct will be open for 111. And I don't want people to be disturbed when they get there. I think that's some bad time. That's all I got. Commissioner Williams want to ask about his precincts as well, so.
I think all the
I'm
ones that we have made effective changes to need to be posted to ensure that every voter has an opportunity to vote. So not just, I noticed most commissioners, but all of them should have documented posting to ensure that the voter have an opportunity to vote. I appreciate it. You also look at District 3 as well. Thank you.
That's it.
Next, we.
Hold on, Commissioner Everson.
No, I have one more deal. I think some people think with me wearing this leather vest that I'm a biker, but this is my veteran's vest. And some of these places that I go in now have to have some heavy pockets. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
So I'm not a biker. This is my veteran's vest. Thank you.
Next
Real quick, somebody,
that's what they got communicated.
Will you let everybody else
Hey.
talk? You can't stop him.
Go ahead.
Hey, it's,
Go ahead, though.
Come on.
All right, Doug.
Ken, the gentleman that jumped out of the airplane was 95,
95, Ray Irvin.
and
That
you're
is
going to jump out of the plane when?
Me?
95.
Never. I just had to ask.
Good one.
Sorry, Mr. President, go ahead.
See, Doug, that's what I'm talking about. Next item.
Next, we move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5518 of 2015, close and abandon the dedication of a portion of Holly Ridge Drive located in West Ridge subdivision, unit number 1.
Public hearing on ordinance number 5518 is now open. Is there anyone that want to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone that want to speak in opposition of? Public hearing on ordinance number 5518 is now closed.
Next, we move to ordinance for final passage. Ordinance number 5518 of 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominique, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Dominique. There's no one that wishes to speak. Let's vote. That passes 11-0.
Next, we move to ordinances for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5519 of 2015, to deem property surplus and authorize the donation of surplus property owned by the Parish of Caddo. Ordinance number 5520 of 2015, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus, to authorize the parish administrator designee to sell tax interest. Ordinance number 5521 of 2015, to deem property surplus and authorize the sale of surplus property owned by the parish. Next, we move to the ratification of the work session minutes for
So
October
moved,
19th.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Land, second by Commissioner Williams. See no one that wishes to speak. Let's vote. Bowman, thank you. 11-0, that passes.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 62, to amend resolution number 52 of 2015, to approve the assignment and transfer of state lease 19480 from Chemterra Resources Partners LTD to Petrohawk Properties LP, known as BHP Billiton Petroleum Properties.
Moved by the chair. Second by Commissioner Bowman. Commissioner Williams.
Madam Attorney, could you give me an explanation on?
I'll defer to Mr. Bernstein.
Commissioner, this is the same transaction that was before you all about a month ago, and what occurred was that the people that had requested, the company that had requested us to endorse their assignment from one company to the other had given us a name that wasn't complete, and so they've asked us to come back and basically re-endorse the assignment of this mineral lease from one company to the other.
Do we know what the mineral right, what the amount of the lease is coming in terms of revenues?
This would not change that. In other words, the practice is basically when mineral leases are taken, they're taken by one company that turns around and assigns them to another company. That way, you're dealing with Twin Cities, you're not dealing with the larger companies when they're out there securing the leases. That's what occurred here, was the leases were originally taken in the name of one company that was out there getting the leases. They turned around and then transferred it to another company, and basically what happened is that when BHP Billiton came in and took over that company, all those leases had to be transferred over to their name.
Did the property owner get any notices of the changes, or just?
It doesn't affect the property owner at all.
All right, thank you.
See no one else that wishes to speak. Let's vote. That passes 11-0.
We have no old business. We move to new business. Appoint one individual to fill the unexpired term left by the death of Mr. Earl Williamson Jr. to the North Caddo Hospital District Board.
Move to recommend Ronnie Festervan.
Second. Got a motion to appoint Mr. Ronnie Festervan by Commissioner Dominique, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Commissioner, you want to make a substitute?
Can I speak?
We'll do a substitute.
Substitute motion.
You want the board first? Okay, as the maker of the motion, speak first.
Okay. First of all, we went over this Monday. Standard procedure, Ms. Smith, I don't know where you're at, but I think I told you this before when we went over this, that the commission makes the appointment. It's not the hospital board. If the hospital wants to make a recommendation, that's fine, but it's ultimate to these 12 commissioners. Ms. Frazier, if you can get a copy of the law to Ms. Smith on that, our ordinance that allows and talks about that, can you do that for me?
Yes.
Number two, Ms. Smith, when I told you before, the appointments do not have to live, they just have to reside in District 1. We can't appoint people outside of District 1. Is that correct, Ms. Frazier?
Correct.
Okay, because you asked about appointing somebody in Blanchard or Shreveport. And I told you our ordinance and the law states that they have to be a resident and domiciled in Caddo Parish District Number 1. I had spoken to, Reverend Green and Ms. Smith on several occasions about this, and I told y'all that, it was the commission's appointment, and I know y'all have typically made recommendations, but it has been the practice of this commission when we had such appointments, whether it was a fire district or sewer district or any other public entity, that the commissioner making the recommendation, the board would go along with. Apparently, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to get out of protocol. Just say, Ms. Smith, that, if y'all want to next time make a recommendation, that's fine. Y'all can do whatever you want to do, but it's ultimately up to these 12 commissioners to make that appointment, and that's what we're going to try to do today. After you and Reverend Green and I met, I said I would strongly consider y'all's recommendation, and I have. I've said this and I'll say it again. I know Miss Helen, however this vote goes, I hope you don't hold it against me. I don't know. But you and I are friends, and we hope to goodness we're going to stay friends, because we're going to work together on other issues, just as I've known you. Your husband's coached my son in basketball, and I think the world of you. I think you are extremely, extremely highly qualified for this position, and I think Mr. Festervan is too. I think that he was assistant superintendent, acting superintendent. He has moved and built a house in the town of Vivian. And it kind of boiled down to the fact that I received a lot of phone calls from elected officials and business people in our area that requested that this appointment stay a Vivian appointment. Doesn't legally have to be a Vivian appointment, but tradition has been that it was a Vivian appointment. When I spoke to Miss Adger, she told me she would be resigning, and therefore it's going to be my recommendation, and I hope the board will be okay with this. If Ronnie Festervan is appointed, then Ms. Helen Godfrey-Smith will be appointed by this board, hopefully, in 1 year and 3 months whenever Ms. Adger retires. If it votes different, then I would ask that we get Ronnie in here in 1 year and 3 months. You can tell the makeup of the board is currently very diverse, and it was, law was amended, I think, Ms. Smith, you said in 2001, and when I look back on the documents, 3 people were added to that, which were yourself, Reverend Green, and Mary Irvin. You being from Oil City, Reverend Green from Vivian, and Mary Irvin, who is actually living outside of Vivian, but I would consider her kind of a Vivian appointment. She lives a few miles from Vivian. I don't want to have politics in this either. I'm simply doing what I think is best, and I made a recommendation, and I would ask for the board members to go along with my appointment for that to be Ronnie Festervan at this time. And I hope to goodness, whatever happens, we all can get along. Because you say, Ms. Smith, wonderful, wonderful things, that we're here to work together. We're here for health care. We're here to build up North Caddo Parish. And I think Mr. Ronnie Festerman would agree with all that stuff too, those goals. And we appreciate your service, as I appreciate Mr. Festerman's willing to serve. But again, ultimately, this is the commission appointment. But traditionally, we have gone along with whatever the commissioner of that district has said. And I would ask that Mr. Festervan be appointed. Thank you.
As the second of the motion, do you wish to speak?
Yes, sir, I do, and I appreciate you asking.
Go ahead.
I'm going to back Mr. Festervan for this appointment, and I'll kind of quickly add to what Mr. Dominic is saying. We've had appointments over the years in probably every district, one way or the other. And we've always looked to that commissioner in that area to say how and why and why do you want this appointment? And I cannot think of any time that we've went against that commissioner. The other day I had a lunch with one of our commissioners, and that point came up. If something happens in that district, by common courtesy, you know, talk to that commissioner. And so it happens. It's going to happen more down the line because we don't live in that district. We don't I can say that when you're dealing with Southern Hills to Vivian, I couldn't tell you half the stuff that goes on in Vivian. I can tell you that they've got a top-notch hospital being built that will entitle them to have more things happen in Vivian. More things come to Vivian. More opportunities come to Vivian. So when you're building a team, as the commissioner for that area or my area or anybody's area that's here, you put people in place that you feel that are a good fit at that point in time. And there's other opportunities down the road for other people that makes good sense. But at this time, the citizens are talking to Mr. Dominic saying that they would like this appointment to go through. I see that we have a total of 4 males and 4 females. So, you know, right now it's a diverse board. I think with new blood brings new ideas, and that at the time that everybody may be on one side of the fence or the other, bottom line is I think it's still up to the commissioner who's over that area, and we are to support him because that's the area that he represents, and that's the area that when they come and they need him, he's got a board that he's basically put together and or is assisting in their needs. So I'm going to support Mr. Festerfan. I'm going to support Mr. Dominic, and I would ask that all of my other commissioners do the same. Thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
It's up to motion. I'd like to nominate Ms. Helen Godfrey. Get a second.
Second. Been moved by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Epperson. To second that substitute motion of appointing Ms. Helen Godfrey Smith to the board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
As the maker of the motion.
Let me just say, highly I respect the wishes and the traditional methods we used in the past to make appointments. However, I do think there are sometimes need to be a change of direction. We need to do some non-traditional things when it's in the best interest of that particular part of the community. And it's very important that we create an environment in Caddo Parish and a culture that we can show and represent diversity and equalize opportunity. The word minority sometimes gets in the way of African Americans. And we've done that very well here on this commission body. I can't say enough about Ms. Helen Godfrey. She is the Virginia she of our time in terms of business and opportunities and running a multi-million-dollar corporation, helped raising the money to get the library going. The board has recommended her. How many appointments do Vivian need? They got 5 or 6 people from Vivian already on the board. How this diversity when it's already stacked that you got 5 or 6 people on the board from Vivian? You got one, Halston, All City got one, Morningsport got one, and Gillum got one. Oh, you tell me how is that fair? It's already stacked. That is not fair. You should have more diversity in the entire district, and all these are in the district. That is not fair. So and the board made the recommendation. Why don't we honor the board? They want to work with her. Mr. Vestervan addition will not be denied, it's just being delayed till Mr. Adger retire or resign. So I believe that first of all, we should respect the wishes of the board, and we're trying to do that. She's highly, highly qualified to run a multi-million-dollar corporation. She know how to raise money, and the hospital needs money. And the state has a shortfall in health care for rural health, and she brought the idea to fresh ideas to Northwest Louisiana and to to take someone off and not recommend them when they done did all the groundwork, that is not fair. So I hope, and we don't even have an African-American black woman on the board. Has there ever been one? Has there ever been one? Somebody tell me that. Has there ever been one who has an opportunity to make history? Let's don't be a history breaker, let's be a history maker. And appointing the first, I didn't hear anyone say that it haven't happened. We got to change the Beltway of the South. We say we want to work together, we want to be inclusive. But if you got 9 people from Vivian on the board, that ain't being inclusive.
Not true.
Well, you got, well, hold on. You got the majority of the people from Vivian on the board.
Not true.
I'm reading this list, it's got Vivian on all of
You're
it.
not reading it right.
All I see is Vivian, Louisiana. But anyway, be as it may. We haven't appointed an African-American female on this. We need to make history. It's not being denied. Mr. Festivan's position is it's being delayed until Ms. Adler retires. I wish my colleague prick your heart and your conscience and do the right thing today. This is a woman. What it's going to look like. Same qualification. Got a woman and a man. You choose a man over a woman, and they both got the same credentials in terms of their profession and their expertise. When you have an opportunity to elect a woman, we're sending the wrong signal here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's vote for Ms. Smith, Ms. Helen Godfrey, who has been a dynamic leader and a servant and a citizen and community activist on these predatory lenders trying to do what is right and fair by all people. So let's equalize opportunity today, and let's don't go backwards. Let's move forward together. Thank you.
There's a second. Would you like to say something?
A call for question on the motion.
Second.
Question has been called. Second has been made by Commissioner Williams. All in favor of calling for the question, please vote now. Six, five. That does
John,
not.
does that pass?
Yeah.
It passed. The majority of the body.
Majority.
Well, we got so many different ones, so
I got you.
I want to
I'm
make
behind
sure.
you, brother.
All right. So now, we go through this process. Got 2 people. First person would be Mr. Ronnie Festivan. Substitute would be, that's right. The substitute motion would be with Ms. Helen Godfrey Smith. So if you're in favor of a vote for Ms. Helen Godfrey Smith, you only vote yes. If you're not, don't vote at all. At this time, those wishing Ms. Helen Godfrey Smith, vote at this time. That's 5 votes. Okay, to the board.
He voted. It just didn't show up.
Bowman.
Raise your hand.
6 votes.
Who's voting for him?
He
Vote.
voted for her. So
Voted for her.
That's 6 votes.
Next order of business.
Adjourn.
Him.
The next was we vote for Ronnie Festival.
How many votes? There's 5 votes for Mr. Festival. I mean, can we vote for Mr. Festival?
We're finna vote for Mr. Festival. Let's vote. The ones that want to vote for Mr. Festival, please vote at this time. That's 5. Smith gets it. With
Who? It was 5 for Ms. Smith too, wasn't it?
6.
Commissioner Bowman voted. He said he didn't register. That's 6-5.
Move for adjournment.
Move adjourn.
Second.
Mute.